to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I'm excited for this one. This little back-to-back's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm not, I don't know, because like the fact that Twitter's dying right before our eyes is like, how are we supposed to share this thing eventually?
It's not gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen Elon tweeting these things?
Yeah.
I mean, do I want to call a billionaire out for this?
Sure.
Dude, he's acting like a child.
Yeah, he's just...
But he's acting like he's 6 years old.
Yeah.
Literally, like, did you see? Didn't I send you the meme of like the two Twitter, the grave thing?
Yeah. And how he stole that from someone?
And he said, like, I'm paraphrasing this. He's like, I'm bored. I'll just let somebody else run the company. It's like, bro.
It's like, okay, sell it now. Leave.
But yeah, let somebody else who wants to keep the platform going.
Yeah. Accept your unbelievable loss financially because you spent $44 billion on an app.
And then decided to just fuck around, and now you're finding out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna be plugging the show on my personal Instagram a little bit more. Like,
Good.
And as we still have the Twitter account now, you can still follow it.
Yeah.
So, keep up with us until Twitter just magically disappears one day, I guess. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, we've shared our personal stuff on there to keep up with us. And obviously subscribe to the YouTube page and Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. Just, so you can stay with us, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got the Habs game we're going to recap. Don't really need to preview tonight as much. Don't really have the time. But I will say tomorrow against the Panthers, at least as of recording this, come say hi to me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be hanging out at our bar pregame a little bit, and then I'll be at the game set Sunday. So
yeah, wish I could be there, but you'll have a
I
great
know
time.
we do need to make that a priority at some point, don't we?
We do.
After I get my Johnny jersey, we need to go in with matching jerseys and just rock the house. Excuse me. So yeah, Kepi Keepers brought to you by DraftKings. Well, Packers didn't show up, did they? I know we talked about that as a matchup.
Yes, and as a very, very big Chicago Bears fan, good.
I'm sure you're happy. Yeah.
Good.
Do you have that schedule still?
From this week's slate of games?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What's a good... Well, we talked about Browns and Bills.
And we're going to talk about a different game because that one might just not even happen.
Well, because aren't the Bills like having issues flying out?
They're snowed in, like they
are they snowed in now?
They legitimately cannot leave. Like flying out of Buffalo is just not safe. They cannot do it.
So I guess the over/under on the chances of that game even being played are take the under on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me actually here. Go ahead and talk about it. Let me get the I gotta get the script back. Okay. So so everybody that signs up with DraftKings, you can get 100% boost on your bets. If you sign up with our promo code, you bet $5, and then you get, if they win, you get $200 in free bets. You get a boost with your same game parlays. And yeah, matchup time.
Alrighty. So I have two in mind that I will go over very quickly because they benefit the both of us. And I'm going to start off with the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers stick They are not.
Yeah.
They are a bad team. First time in a while that they have been very, very bad. The over under for that game is 41. Now, granted, that might be very much determined by the weather nearby. Could be impacting that. But the Bengals lost to the Steelers week 1. Can you believe it?
Personally, yes, I can.
Well, you know what this constitutes.
We've talked about this. Joey Burrow is phenomenal. The wide receiver core between T and Jamar and Boyd is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The defense holds its end of the bargain for the most part.
Joe Mixon's unbelievable.
Mix is amazing. I friggin' love Joe Mixon. Yeah. Evan McPherson is still him, but he's had his issues.
He's a kicker. He's a kicker, like goalies, you know? He's a kicker.
Goalies and kickers are both unpredictable like that, right?
Very, very erratic. And the game sometimes relies very heavily on them.
And just like the Bears, we have no offensive line like we haven't had for 5 years.
So what's interesting to me about this game is Bengals are favored by 3.5, and I fully expect them to both win and cover. But because of the weather implications, and because, as you mentioned, bad offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals, not to mention the Steelers, not very good, starting a rookie quarterback who's struggling. Their offensive line is not very good. Their run game's not been very good. They traded away one of their top 3 receivers to the Chicago Bears. So the receiving core is a little weakened. I expect this game to be a Bengals win where they cover the spread, but you get an under on the points. That's what I would say about that game. Now, if you want an over game, the Bears are playing the Falcons. These two teams do not have defenses. Like, there's just no defense on the field.
Well, have you seen the standings in the NFC South?
Yes, they're
is everybody still under 500?
No, the Bucs are at 500.
Oh,
yeah.
Good old Tom Brady.
Tampa Bay. And they're on their bye
bringing it back up, huh?
Yeah. So the Falcons are favored by 3, and the over-under is 49. I'm not going to make a prediction on which team's going to win and who's going to cover, but I would feel very confident that Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears, who have averaged about 30 points these last 3 weeks, can very well hold up their end of the bargain. And at that point, you just need 20 points from the Falcons because the over-under is 49. I would expect the over to hit for that game.
I mean, that could be a shootout, right?
Yeah, absolute shootout. A very, very underrated, entertaining game this weekend, I feel.
Sure. But for those of you into the sports betting world, like this guy is, why not use DraftKings? So if you download the DraftKings Sportsback app, excuse me, oh my gosh, let me take 2, I guess. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code THPN, that's for the Hockey Podcast Network, and place a $5 pregame money line to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code THPN. As always, our description stuff for the states that can bet right now is in there. Let's get to some cappies.
All righty. Who went first last time?
I did.
All righty. So that means I get the layup. I get the easy one. I get the hometown kid. Sean Corrali was
That's exactly who I thought. Yep.
I'm a big Sean Corrali guy. 2 goals and an assist. He was +2 in the game. Got the empty netter, but also just, empty netters.
The burner on his actual goal.
Split the D, man. Oh my God. He's got so much more skill than people give him credit for.
Well, yeah, because let's think about Sean's career for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets drafted by Boston.
He was actually a draft pick of San Jose.
Oh, that's right. Sure,
yeah.
But signed by Boston.
Yeah, he goes to Boston.
He's immediately a Bruin. You think of the way a Bruins player plays.
Yes, he is a Bruin at heart. He is a Bruin wearing a Blue Jackets uniform.
Pretty much, and that's kind of what we needed when we got him, right?
Yeah, because he played. His college career was played at Miami of Ohio.
Oh yeah, sure. And he was AAA alum.
Mm-hmm.
Like Roslovic, like Carson Meyer. I've mentioned this before. It's really nice getting local products into your team, right?
So this is interesting. So do you want to know what deal he was included in to get to Boston? The Martin Jones deal.
Oh, that Martin Jones deal from way back
Yeah.
in the day. Okay.
So that was when Boston traded for Martin Jones and then traded him to San Jose. Just a total heist.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's very similar to the Hoffman trade, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Hoffman going from Ottawa to San Jose, and then San Jose bringing him to Florida.
Yeah, which was a very funny trade for those like that week on Twitter was just so funny making fun of Ottawa.
Oh man, that whole like 3-year stretch for the Senators was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Curls absolutely deserves it. I'm sure he got the real one, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He got the real copy.
Of course he did. Like, why wouldn't he?
Yeah, because I think the best part, like the best play of the night, was outside of his beautiful goal, to make it 4-3 after Montreal tied the game back up, was the set face-off play. Matthew OliviYAY.
Oh, that rip!
Winning that draw and getting it right on, like tape to tape, back in the net. And what's interesting is his goal and OliviYAY's goal were exactly 1 minute apart.
Well, you know what's funny? Mr. OliviYAY is getting my Kappa Keeper.
He deserves it.
Because, oh my God, like...
He was an assist away from the Gordy.
You mentioned last show how much this fourth line is clicking.
Yeah, they're cooking.
Oh boy. So let's wrap up the actual like Kappa Keeper. Sean Corrali, Matthew OliviYAY. These guys are playing like more than fourth liners, which is awesome.
Yeah. This is like the exact identity line that you need, and I think it's. Don't get me wrong, Boone's been phenomenal. Johnny's been phenomenal.
Well, yeah.
Some of the defense have actually held their weight better than I thought they would.
Marcus Bjork.
Been great, but I think this fourth line might be the catalyst for this little stretch that you're on. 3-0-1 in your last 4. They've played a big part in all those games.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
It's not okay.
Again. No, it's not okay.
How dare you be sick?
It's a sickness.
I like the shirt. I've never seen you wear that.
Oh, you've seen me wear this.
I've never noticed it.
Yeah, because I can't get this into frame.
Yeah. I just noticed it, and I'm like, I like that a lot.
I got it for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
And I'm actually here. I'm gonna be wearing this hat to the game in the R bar tomorrow. So come find me wearing this.
Enjoy the R bar.
Yeah.
Good time.
Hopefully we can get there early enough to like just get some food and a couple of drinks and actually see some people.
I haven't been to R bar forever. Anyway, back to before we get on a tangent here.
So yes, Kappa Keepers brought to you by DraftKings. The 2 fourth line dudes that are playing like way more than that. Sean Corrali, the local kid, and Matthew OliviYAY, the surprise trade. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, what was it? Like we traded the 94th pick in this last draft for him.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
And he's got term, and it's like,
I'm like, I like this a lot.
I think we're starting to warm up to Matthew OliviYAY, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are.
And honestly, I feel like my choice was originally solely going to be based on fighting Arbor Jackeye.
Yeah, and major props for him to doing that. But like I've said about this guy that I like the trade is because, I hate the idea in today's NHL just getting a guy because you can fight guys or hit guys. Like you gotta have some skill to your game. Well, he's shown a little bit of skill to his game. I think he's got points in his last 2 games. He's made a big difference, offensively, making plays in the offensive zone with those guys. And the only reason that Eric Robinson's not getting a Kepi today is because he got the last one for me.
Oh, right, yeah.
But he's going to get a shout out as well because he's another big part of that fourth line.
Well, Robbie got a promotion.
Where's he playing now?
He was playing on the third.
I don't remember that. They were playing together on that fourth line the entire. I think they made the fourth
I
line.
think they listed. Yeah, I think they just listed it as the third line, right?
Yeah.
And then just kept giving them third line minutes.
Kind of like how Toronto does that with where they'll have like Kampf on the fourth line, and whoever's playing with him will just eventually become the third line in the middle of a game. Because the third line didn't play the last 11 minutes of this last game at all.
And the third line was...
That was KJ, Liam, and Jack.
Right. Now, we've found out today, this morning, that Rosie's sick.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it. He got benched, and then we found out he's sick.
Yeah.
So he's not at morning skate.
Right.
And I mean, what else? Like, Boone had a great game, like he always does.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
Johnny's still doing his thing. Chinny's still doing his thing. Like, what else can you say about, like, it's weird. Because this stretch, we're winning games.
Mm-hmm.
But other than talking about Sean and 50 and 24, there's not much else to say. It's like your usual suspects, right?
So I do want to like spend just a minute on Chinnikov and talking about his improvement and just comparing it to last year. Because last year he was the guy that we talked about looked lost.
Yes, he didn't have a place in the lineup, right?
He looked very lost on the ice. Didn't really adapt to what was going on around him. Didn't get a chance to really showcase his skills. And it was a question mark coming into this season. I wanted to see how he would improve. And so last year, 62 games played, 7 goals, 7 assists for 14 points, minus 27.
Oh, yeah, that's lost.
Yeah. This year, 16 games played, already has 7 assists, so he has tied his total from last year.
Yeah.
It's 2 goals for 9 points. If you do the math on this real quick, Jake, and I am a big math guy, okay?
Well, yes. You're the resident analytics geek.
He's on pace for 46 points.
Wow, he's going to shatter this thing.
Yeah. So,
well, if he keeps it up, because like he's been playing second line minutes most of the year.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, like, I do like them, and what we saw from the morning skates that you sent me earlier is they're going to keep Bemmer up on the top line.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel you need a shakeup, I really do want to see Yegor with Johnny and Boone.
Ooh.
I think that might actually be something worth trying. I know that it seems like they really want to try and make it work with a right-hand shot on that right side.
Well, yeah, because Patrick's a right-hand shot, right?
But I think it would really benefit Chinnikov to play. And this isn't about demoting Bemstrom, who I think has played
no
this game, but I don't think it would be the worst idea to put Bemmer on line 2, perhaps with Nyquist and
right, and Cole. And Cole's been looking good.
Yeah, Cole's looking better. Like the monkey's off his back, and I think he's playing a little bit more free.
That just makes me think back to OliviYAY's goal. Did you see it, Zelly? Or no, wait, did Cole do that too? Because I think OliviYAY did it first.
What was his?
When he like did this and then actually threw like a monkey off his back.
Yeah.
Like how fun was it? That's so cool. That's so fun.
Did you watch the video of him mic'd up?
Of OliviYAY mic'd up? Yeah, because like
mic'd up videos in the NHL are
because all I got was just like he wins, he gets the puck from the draw, he shoots, and all you hear is just the woo, and that's it.
And that's it, because they have to censor every single swear word that's included. So most of like the stuff you hear is just silence, but it's not actual silence. It's because some guy's screaming, "Fuck it!" You know what I mean? Like they can't include any of that stuff on like a live broadcast. But that's what I love about like those mic'd up situations for hockey are so much different than some of them for say like football or basketball.
Well, because what else are you gonna do when you're hyped up like that?
Yeah.
I mean, and we can say this because Ohio is like a top state for like swear words.
Yes, like I think
Which
that's
is
like an actual
like that's an
stat.
actual statistic
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. It's just so Ohio, right?
I know. Cole's looking great. The whole 3rd/4th line is looking awesome. Johnny, KJ, Yegor, they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Liam getting regular minutes.
Yeah, and give him an opportunity to potentially carve himself a spot in the bottom 6.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If that's where he's going to fit most of the season.
That's probably where he's going to fit long term, I think. If you're going to keep this guy long term, he's probably a bottom 6 guy.
Well, because it's like he can't play center when you got Sean in there.
Right.
I mean, he could play 3rd line, I guess, but
well, they haven't
like
played the 3rd line, but they have him playing like on the left side of Brendan Gaunce.
Right, and Gauncer looks good. Gauncer's like we know what Brendan Gaunce can do, and he's doing his thing. Just
like he's been fine in the bottom 6. Like, I don't know if Brendan Gaunce is a full-time bottom 6 guy in the National Hockey League. I don't think he's bottom.
I don't know.
I don't think he's a full-time 3rd liner. But in a pinch, we've seen in the past with this guy that you can use him in a pinch and he can be effective for you. And it seems to me that they trust him more in the face-off dot than they do Liam, and I think it's evident by we talked about the game against was it the one against the Flyers where Blankenberg had the empty netter?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was where he won the face-off.
Where we found out he had a broken foot.
Yeah,
like right away.
And that's big. You need to be able to win those face-off draws, and if we can't trust you in the 8-minute mark in the second period to win a face-off,
why would we trust you at the 2-minute warning?
Yeah.
So we talked last show as the game was going. We talked like up to Andy's goal.
Mm-hmm. Which, glad we won.
And Andy looks like he's warming up back again in the Montreal lineup, which is good for him.
I mean, right? It's the ebbs and flows of Josh Anderson, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's another very streaky player. He's not great at passing the puck, but he's very physical, and he will go 9 games without scoring a goal, and then he'll give you 4 goals in your next 6 games.
Right. But he's always there. He's always physical.
Yeah.
He'll always be ready to go you. Right?
And this is just
that's just how we know Andy, right?
15 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. That is as Josh Anderson will get. Right?
Boone answering Josh with assists from KJ and Johnny, because of course.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
KJ's interesting there. I wonder if that's just like a line change, if that was just off a line change, individual change.
Where's he at?
For getting KJ on the ice for that. It was the primary on Boone's first.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if that was just the other guy coming off. If it was like Bemmer starting and then, but doesn't matter. KJ getting another point, Johnny getting another helper. Johnny's doing his playmaking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Boone's finishing a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Boone's already got 7 goals on the year.
Yeah, I think it's easier to finish when you've got Johnny Gaudreau passing you the puck, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, we talked about all this time in the offseason, everybody did, Patty's going to finish more because he's got Johnny Gaudreau. Well,
Boone Jenner.
I think it's evident by the one goal he had against the Flyers where he's just literally standing in front of the net and Johnny just puts right on his tape and he just goes poke and it's in the net.
It's like people forget Johnny's on the ice. It's like he's not there.
And that's one of the abilities you have to have as a star player is you find ways to put yourself in situations where people almost forget about you.
Yeah, where you become invisible, right?
Yeah.
Gallagher answers Boone. Dvorak and Hoffman getting assists on that. And then we get the amazing Corraliol.
Yep.
I'm just going.
This is by everyone.
I'm just going through the list here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get OliviYAY, which
yeah.
That's still just so. I love goals like that where they're just directly off the draw and boom.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites where it's just so quick, bang, bang play like that.
And then 8 seconds later,
Suzuki.
So real quick, we're just going to give you timestamps on these, okay?
Yes.
9:27. Gallagher ties it.
Yep.
10:09. Corrali gives the Jackets a lead.
Yep.
11:09. OliviYAY gives the Jackets a 2-goal lead. 11:17. Nick Suzuki scores a 1-goal game. Just utterly ridiculous. What is that? 4 goals in a minute 50 or something like that?
Yeah.
That is just unreal.
That's craziness. I love games like that though. When they turn into barn burners so fast.
Yep.
They stay close like that. It's crazy. Docker and Kovacevic getting the assists on the Suzuki goal. Doc and Suzuki look awesome. Like we talk about Caulfield and Suzuki, but like Kirby Doc
looks awesome. Like he's, I think, one of the bigger stories that people aren't really talking about this year because he did not look like he had really much of anything heading, like after his first 3 years in Chicago. Like
between injuries and just not getting chosen for ice time, I guess. Like
nothing about his stay in Chicago felt like a fix. And I think that this is a little bit of a warm-up, like a wake-up call for him.
Yeah.
And it's just been phenomenal.
He's a big player too. Like so we talk about how our top line is like we have Johnny who's 5'9". Boone's like average, right? He's like 6'2".
Yeah.
6'2". And then Patrick Laine
is 6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
So like Caulfield is what?
5'7".
5'7". He's really tiny.
Like he's smaller than Johnny.
Yeah. Suzuki is, I'm gonna check this out.
He's 6 feet.
He's listed at 5'11".
Okay, so yeah, like right around there.
So about Boone's size.
Well, a little bit smaller than Boone, but not like a
right, not too much. And then you got Kirby Doc who's 6'4".
Yeah,
it's pretty much the exact same makeup.
Yeah,
in terms of size.
Yeah, you could protect maybe one of your small forwards with a bigger guy, but it's interesting because the biggest guy on that line is Laine, and he's not the physical guy. It's actually Boone.
Right, exactly.
You almost kind of wonder, like, what would it be like if Boone was 6'5" and Laine was 6'2"? Because Laine's game doesn't change that much if he's 6'2".
No.
But Boone's game could be height
absolutely like
inches and weight,
And then Curl's getting the empty netter from your favorite guy, Eric Branson, and our captain. So that just seals the deal. And whoa, okay. I'm looking at this, and we got outshot 42-29.
Yeah, and I said that on our Twitter. Is that's one of my main concerns is the fact that we're consistently getting outshot. But like you're getting outchanced, you're getting outshot, and that's a concern. But at the same time, in response to that, what isn't a concern is
excuse me,
your goalie's actually standing tall to the task.
Well, Corpy's actually getting a chance to play, and he's healthy, and he looks good, despite all the defensive flaws. Like Corpy's actually looking like what he should.
Yeah.
Like his out. We know those are outlier seasons, but it's like this is the Korpisalo we need.
Yeah, and like I was wondering this to myself like the other day. I was like, is there any possibility that maybe I just had it wrong? Where he comes in, he looks really good his rookie year when he's the starter because he's hurt. And then he comes up and he struggles as a backup because he's not consistently getting time. Then he does well when Bobrovsky leaves and he's the starter, and then we see how he plays in the playoffs.
And he has the longer stretch. Yep.
And these last 2 seasons have been bad simply because A, he's not the official starter, and B, maybe he was hurt the entire time.
Yeah, we don't know like how much that.
And maybe I just have analyzed this wrong the entire time, and that he is just the guy that needs to consistently start and be a start. But even then, like what's interesting for me, like in the future, is like, well, okay, if that's the case, do you feel comfortable enough to A, give him a contract? Again,
Yes.
And B, make him your starter?
Well, because Elvis already has the deal, right?
So if this is the case, then one, if you're going to give him a contract, you have to A, be okay with the money, B, be okay with him being your official starter and giving him the bulk of the starts, and C, you got to find a deal for Elvis, because he's not just going to make $5+ million and play 25 games a year.
Right.
So it's nice that Corpy's playing well. It's nice to have a little bit of stability in that right now. But
if this is the way it's going to be going forward, then you have a huge choice to make.
And then another question is, well, if he plays well enough and you're not certain you want to give him a contract, what can you get for him? Because he might be playing himself into maybe giving you assets.
Yeah, that's another interesting point. And I mean, we know Elvis is out for 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is Corpy's time to at least show what he can do.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see, like tonight, I think he's getting the start. Might be interesting to see, depending on how this game goes, if he starts tomorrow or if they give Tara another start.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went for Corpy on a back-to-back here.
Because Florida's looking okay. Detroit. Let's do a real quick, at least a few guys to watch out for against the Red Wings tonight, depending on when this gets published. Obviously Dylan Larkin, who's Selke candidate right now. Yeah. And Dominic Kubalik is having himself a time.
He's leading the team in scoring.
Leading the team in goals, assists, and points. He's leading in everything.
Yeah. David Perron, who is a noted Jackets killer.
Yes.
And he is having a good season. He's third on the team in scoring.
I'm assuming we're going to get Husso tonight.
Yeah. Lucas Raymond had a very good rookie year last year, is a phenomenal player. Moritz Seider, true number 1 defenseman.
Yeah.
He's going to be he's already really good. He's going to be unbelievable.
Hronek's doing his thing. I'm not too worried about
Hronek's actually been quite good this year. I think this coaching change has actually done him some good.
Mm-hmm. Well, because like the thing that we always talked about with the Red Wings is Hronek and Zadina never really finding their groove, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then like who's there? Oh, Soderblom.
Yeah.
Soderblom, right? That's the guy to watch out for.
Yeah, I love that guy.
He's just a truck.
Elmer, man, he sticks to you like glue.
Okay, that one was good. I'll give you props for that one.
Yeah. Damn right.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do tonight. It's always fun getting the Red Wings in town and going up to Little Caesars because just the Ohio-Michigan rivalry to begin with.
Yeah, there is something to it. I mean, and what's interesting and fun about it,
because we were old division rivals in the West.
And funny enough, like we moved to the East with them.
Yeah.
So like we've as long as we have been a team in the National Hockey League, we've always been in the same conference as them.
Not like obviously we're in different divisions now.
Yeah, we're in different divisions now, but always been in. We were in the West together, and then when we made the move to the East, so did they.
We moved together to So it's just like, I don't know. This is clever to me, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
those are always fun. And then Sunday we get Florida. Let's move on to this. So there's a rumbling around already that the Canucks are shopping Bo Horvat.
Yes.
And Columbus could be in on him.
So this is interesting to me because two names come to my mind in a potential Bo Horvat deal.
Well, there are a list of 3 in an article.
Yeah, I saw that. I kind of laughed at that.
Well, I laughed at it too, but it's like, here, give me your 2, and then we'll talk about the 3 that are actually like in the thing.
The 3 that were mentioned, David Jiricek, they're not going to do that.
No, he's not going anywhere.
Ken Johnson,
he's not going anywhere.
Cole Sillinger could.
He could, but I really don't. He's one that
I when I first read it, I was like, Sillinger too? Like what? Like, and then I thought about it a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And my whole thing when you're trading a young player for another player is, what do I think this player could become?
Yes.
And we've kind of agreed that Cole Sillinger is not a number 1 center in the National Hockey League.
He's a 2-3.
So if he reaches his full potential, he's probably going to be
a 2 at best.
He's probably going to be Bo Horvat, isn't he?
You're right.
So that's why
like a smaller Bo Horvat, right?
Yeah. So that's kind of why I think that a Bo Horvat deal might actually be interesting if you're trading Cole Sillinger. I know we really like Cole. I really like Cole, but
love Cole to death. He's my dad's favorite player for a reason. So I know Dad's gonna be excited to see Silly on Sunday.
Yeah. But that's the interesting thing to me is like, if they're looking for a young player here, I think I would do it. But it would have to come at the expectation that there's going to be a contract extension.
Yes, that's the big thing that I wanted to hit, is that if they're trading Bo, and if Columbus is going to go after Bo, the biggest expectation from Horvat's camp is that the extension is going to come with this.
Yes. And if that's the case, then another interesting deal that could work on both sides for that coin is maybe Bo for Gavrikov.
You're right.
The Canucks could desperately use another defenseman. And if this is a deal where both sides are going to come to an extension, like, it wouldn't be the worst idea to get a center that you could use, like a Bo Horvat, with an extension coming up, and the same thing for the Canucks. Get a defenseman you need and lock him up.
Right. That actually makes a lot more sense than throwing in like a Sillinger or KJ or a Jiricek. That one actually is way more. Well, no.
Any Blue Jackets fans listening to this, don't worry, they're not going to do that.
I just thought, like, I was looking at because Jiricek was the first one listed. I was like,
and I was like,
pick this guy.
Come on.
It's like they just drafted this guy.
They're not going to trade Jiricek. They're not trading Coolmans. They're not trading Matachuk. They're not trading any of those guys. They're not going to trade Jordan Dumais either.
How good has Jordan Dumais been?
48 points in 20 games.
Holy crap. And is he still on his big streak?
What, you mean this entire season?
That dates back to last season?
Yeah, he had 6 points last night.
Oh my God.
This is stupid. Like, oh my God. We got that guy 96th overall. There were 95 players drafted before him.
Oh boy. And he wears a pretty nice number to go along with that nice amount of points.
Yeah.
At least in our camp.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, what's he wearing Moose Jaw? Or not Moose Jaw, Halifax. I think he wears like 20 something.
Let me see.
But yeah, the whole Horvat thing is interesting because we know we need center depth and we know we need like a bona fide top 6 guy. Right?
He wears 11.
11. I was way off. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing a fresh, new, fun number 11 on the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, we haven't had
Matt Calvert.
I miss Calvi. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I think that I would be interested in a Bo Horvat trade for either of those guys. I would trade Sillinger to make that work. I would trade Gavrikov to make that work.
I think a 1-for-1 with Gavrikov would be the most beneficial for both teams.
Yeah, I think because like it's a question for Vancouver of what are you looking for? Are you looking to kind of go with this core and just retool it a little bit? Or are you looking for a mini rebuild here where you trade away Bo Horvat so you can get a young player like Cole Sillinger who can fit that mold in the future?
Right, because both of these teams are also in a very weird situation where, like, Columbus is probably in where's the draft territory.
Yes. Columbus, and they weren't supposed to be,
No.
Like,
and Vancouver is there, but they're not. They're climbing their way out.
They were supposed to be a playoff team. I picked them to make the. We both did. We both picked them.
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah.
Like they were supposed to be a hell of a lot better than what they have been so far, and they still have time. I still think that they have enough to where they can crawl out of this, but
they're slowly doing that.
They have to look for options in case it doesn't happen.
Because let's talk about Bo for a second before we move on. He's got 13, 14 goals. This is the quietest 13, 14 goal season so far to start a season that I've ever seen.
He's got 14 goals, 6 assists for 20 points in 17 games. Great now.
And nobody's talking about it.
And on this very, very bad Canucks team, he is an even in plus minus.
Shades of Shea in a 10-0 loss.
He is, so his career shooting percentage is 13.5. He's shooting 21.5 to start this season.
Wow.
So obviously he will probably cool off at some point, but he's still a very, very good player.
Oh yeah. And he brings that scoring touch. He brings a physical game.
Yeah, he brings an intensity to the game.
He's a captain for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a change is necessary for. He's only 28 years old.
Okay, so bring
and
in
he
another
doesn't turn 29 until April.
Wow. Okay, so bring another guy like going into his prime.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not like they're in a. It's not like he's aging at a point where it's like not worth it. Like if you trade for Bo Horvat, you're probably going to get a good 5 years out of this guy.
13.53.29. Yeah, sounds like kind of a move.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds kind of spicy.
Maybe you can keep 38 with 13 and just put Bo on your second line and put him with Chinikov and KJ.
Ooh, that one sounds promising too. I don't know.
There's a lot of options with that.
I just think that it's like this is the first time I've heard us interested in a big piece in a while, right?
Yeah, because we weren't even like talking about like potential interest in Johnny Gaudreau because we never thought he would come here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, and look, here's the thing: like, the reason I think that this is probably actually going to happen is because this is just how Jarmo operates. He operates in big swings.
He takes haymakers left and right, and some miss and some really, really hit.
Yeah. And I think after getting a Johnny Gaudreau, he's looking to land another one. And this might be the guy he's looking to land. So.
As Kevin Weeks would say, keep your eye on it.
Yeah.
God, do you remember like last offseason where he said that like almost 5 times a day, and it was like we had to keep 50 eyes on things?
Yeah, I had too many eyes.
It was just like, wow. Phil Kessel. Getting out of this. The dude's a freaking legend.
He is.
And not just for winning a couple of cups in Pittsburgh. Not just for
he ate a hot dog out of the Stanley Cup.
And not just for that. Not just for being one of the biggest faces in even smaller markets. Even though he's played in a lot of big markets. He played in Boston. He played in Toronto.
Yeah.
But it's like he's
looked at pretty heavily, but he was a big face in Arizona.
He was a huge face in Arizona.
Yeah.
And now he's in Vegas. And he's doing his Phil thing. He's played in 1,000 straight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know he's already the current Iron Man, but dude, we're never going to see this again. Because he's still going.
Yeah. He doesn't seem like he's really running out of steam in terms of at least playing in the NHL. He's not the player he used to be, but he's still someone you can use on just about any night.
November of 2009 is when this streak started.
Yes. For reference, I was 10 years old.
Yes.
Bear in mind, I just graduated college in May.
Yes.
So, and I turned 23 in July. So that should hopefully provide a little bit of
perspective for at least some of you on how crazy this streak is. For a guy that self-admitted, like he has admitted himself that his diet's pretty poor.
Yeah, well, like, it's one of those things where if you're a coach or GM or like anybody on that staff, like, what are you gonna say?
What can you say? Because he's like,
doesn't
he say he doesn't
like, stop
regularly
eating hot dogs? He can look at you and be like, I haven't missed a game since 2009, and then you're gonna be like, okay, you're probably doing something right.
Didn't he say he doesn't regularly drink water?
Yeah,
or something like that.
I was listening to like a whole bunch of like stories about him, and I want to say Rick Tocchet told a story about like how his diet is just so ridiculous, but like when they would go in for like lifting competitions and stuff like that in training camp, he would always finish in like the top 3 in like deadlifts and stuff like that.
Because people go look up a picture of Phil. Go look up the picture of Phil with the hot dog in the cup.
He's 5'11", weighs 208. He hasn't missed a game in 13 years. And he's like an ox.
Yeah, he looks like an ox.
That is literally what he is. It's the most ridiculous thing.
Because he looks like a guy that you would not expect to play hockey.
No,
right?
Absolutely not. He looks like he should be like checking out your bags at the grocery store.
And this guy just relies on one thing. He just relies on his wrist shot.
Yeah.
It's all he needs, really, to put up his points.
Yeah.
And he's like one of the sweetest guys in the league. Right? One of the funniest. God.
Just look at this guy.
Just look at him. For those of you watching on YouTube, seriously, pull that up again.
Yeah, here's another good one.
Like, look at him. He looks like literally like your stereotypical dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Phil Kessel photos.
There you go. Yeah, just put up Phil photos.
He's such a legend.
It still feels weird to me that he's wearing 8 instead of 81 because he's worn 81 through his whole career.
Oh, this is an all-timer with the Penguins.
Oh, yeah, with the hair.
The legendary HBK line.
The HBK line. I love it.
Look at this and tell me this guy's not a construction worker.
So he literally looks like he should be doing anything else but playing hockey.
Yes, and this is a guy who has had multiple point per game seasons in the National
Multiple point per game seasons, current NHL Ironman that's going to last for ages.
You look at some of the guys and just their physical physique and stuff like that, like how jacked some of these guys are. And it's like, that's the guy.
And that's the Iron Man.
Even 13 years.
Well, it's like his Cogliano streak got broken because of a suspension.
Yeah. It was just, I can't think of a worse way to end it. Like, it's not even like getting scratched by your coach being a dick or anything like that. Like, it's your own doing.
Yeah.
Strict.
And then Keith's was just, he was long in the tooth and whatever.
He was done,
And then what are the other, Doug Jarvis was way before our time, but it's like, didn't he take, somebody on the Blackhawks took himself out of his own Iron Man streak because he said, fuck management.
I don't remember
like
that.
back in like the 90s or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't remember any of that.
But then like Doug Jarvis, I don't know what happened to end his, which was the one that stood for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But like Phil the Thrill, man. And I love the hashtag that they used.
Yeah.
It was Phil Kessel, but the L was a 1.
Yeah.
Phil 1K.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and it looks a lot better with Phil Kessel than it did with Duncan Keith playing 1,000 games. Do you remember what that one looked like?
No.
It was just DK, but the stick of the K was at 1.
Oh, that's
and it was like right together. So it looked a little suspicious.
One second. I want to ask a question here. That's
Go look it up real quick. So it's just, yeah, big props to Phil because he's still going, and like who knows when this is.
okay.
This has got to keep going until he just retires, right?
Yeah. So here's my question to you.
Uh-huh.
Whose Iron Man streak is safer? Phil Kessel's when his career comes to an end, which is going to be 1,000 plus. We don't know what the exact number is going to be, but it's going to be 1,000 plus. Or Cal Ripken.
Oh. Give me the numbers on that one again, because that one's an interesting.
2,632 consecutive games played. Hard to imagine that one would get broken, right?
I don't think either of those are getting touched, man. Because think about the way that both sports are played, right?
Because guys in baseball, like you'll get a day off all the time, especially in today's game.
Maintenance days happen left, right, and center in baseball,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're a guy like Joey Votto. Even though you want to play every day, if you're Joey,
yeah,
like he knows he's got to take his days off here and there. But in hockey, it's like, how did Phil not get even just a tweak? Right?
he probably tweaks and stuff like that, but he just plays through it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like this is a guy like when we talk about like overcoming things. I mean, he had cancer at the beginning of his career.
Oh yeah.
And he overcame that, and it's crazy to think like overcoming cancer and stuff like that just to be able to play in the NHL, and then you never have anything keep you out of a game. You've never been sidelined once.
Yeah, for
for
a decade plus.
Yeah.
Just wow, it's remarkable. I think I said enough we could say about that.
Yep.
Speaking of more remarkable, the Jets had a fun little night inducting Teemu Selanne and Teppo Numminen into their Hall of Fame.
Very well deserved.
Very, just like thinking about Teemu, and for Teemu specifically, having it against the Ducks.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also I think that the Jets actually very much honored Teemu in the proper way by having one of their players carry them to victory.
Yeah, because wasn't it a hat trick from
Kyle Connor had all 3 goals for the Jets.
And it's nice that, like, so Teemu's obviously got his history just with the Winnipeg Jets, right?
Yeah.
Not with the Jets Coyotes. And I'm surprised that the Teppo night wasn't separate against the Arizona Coyotes.
Right.
Because Numminen played for the Jets and Coyotes single franchise for 14, 15 years.
Yeah. Long time. So Teemu, 10th overall, selected by the Winnipeg Jets in 1988. 1,457 points in 1,451 games, just slightly above a point per game player.
A 76 goal rookie campaign for a Calder.
Yep. He won a cup in Anaheim. He's a Hall of Famer.
One of the sweetest guys on the planet. Wouldn't you love to meet Teemu Selanne?
Absolutely.
It's just God. Because I remember he was on a bar down quiz once, and like he was hanging out with Jesse, and they just had a blast, right?
Mm-hmm. So he had 4 years in Winnipeg. Okay.
Yep.
231 games played, 147 goals, 159 assists, 306 points.
Oh my god.
Funniest part about that, he was a -11.
Oh,
that should tell you about the Jets.
that should tell you about the original Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at like his hockey DB thing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at like teams and stuff like that, and I see Winnipeg and Anaheim and San Jose because he was a Shark for a little bit.
Yes,
and
he was. And
I was looking at this, and I see MDA, and I'm like, MDA, and I was like, oh, Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. He was both a Duck and a Mighty Duck too.
Oh, that's freaking awesome. Oh, that's right, because he played with Korea.
Yeah.
And he played with Korea in Colorado too.
Yep.
Let's look at Teppo, original Jet and Coyote for like a long time. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is the difference because Timo was a forward, Teppo was a defenseman. And Teppo was more of a defensive defenseman, right?
Right.
So Winnipeg Jets, 88-89 through the move in 96-97. Played for the Coyotes from 96-97 all the way through 2002-2003. Played one season in Dallas in 03-04.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a listing on who he played for during the lockout, if he even played at all during the lockout. But 05-06 through 08-09 plays for the Sabres. But the funny thing about his Sabres time is he had open heart surgery going into 07-08.
Mm-hmm.
And the management suspended him for the first 81 games of the year. So he only played the last game of the season.
Yeah.
In 07-08.
Wow. Damn.
And I don't know if like suspension usually implies bad, right?
Yeah, right.
But they did this for his own recovery.
Yeah,
because like when you have to get open heart surgery, there's like no way around missing time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of crazy to think about.
His career year, 95-96. Before the Jets moved to Phoenix. 74 games, 11 goals, 43 assists for 54 points. He was a -4 that year. His worst plus minus, a -23, 93-94. And his best plus minus was a +25.
Ooh.
The second year in Phoenix in 97-98.
Nice.
And this is a guy that's played in a lot. Like he played 82 games for 3 straight seasons from when they first moved to Phoenix into 99-2000. And even then he played 79. So this guy had a really long, fruitful career as a defenseman.
Yeah. Very well deserved.
1372 games played, 117 goals, 520 assists for 637 points. And he played a full season's worth of playoff games, dude. He played 82 playoff games.
Wow, exactly 82.
9 goals, 14 assists for 23 points in those playoff games.
That's like a season's worth of production. For a defenseman.
Huge props to these guys. And it's so cool that Teppo even has now he's shrined in both Phoenix or Tempe and Winnipeg.
Yeah.
The Tempe Coyotes, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice that both franchises have honored Teppo Numminen.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah, oh, of course. Because he played for both. So speaking of trading guys, because we got to get rolling on the last few things here. They're listening. The Sharks are listening on Eric. Sharks are listening on EK65.
As they should.
But that cap hit is just like how...
The contract's bad, and it's not just the cap hit, it's the term, but more than anything, you have to worry about fitting the cap hit.
Yes, because it's $11.5 million. So, like, how much do you retain on that when you're already paying Marc-Edouard Vlasic what you're paying?
See, in my opinion, this is a deal that happens in the offseason.
Uh-huh.
This is a move you make in the offseason when you know you can trade him potentially for another bad contract and you can fit that contract on your books, and another team can maybe make some corresponding moves to fit that player.
But here's the thing, right? So Greer's come out and said they're listening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's listening just means we'll call you.
We're answering the calls.
We'll answer the phone and whatever. Right? But that doesn't mean you have to do it, because look at what Eric is doing for the Sharks this year. They could do it.
I think
you can still do it.
The reason I say you should do it is because of what you said. Look at what he's doing. His value is never going to be higher.
No.
So if you're going to do it, this is the time to do it. You have to do it at some point in the next 8 months.
Pull up his stat line.
Because the stats are unbelievable, that another team might think that they might have a run with him, in their lineup.
Yes.
So, Erik Karlsson this season,
he is leading the Sharks in goals.
He's played in 19 games, has 11 goals, 17 assists for 28 points.
He is leading the Sharks in goals. And second is Timo Meier with 8. Yeah. Well, second is Timo and Logan Couture.
So Timo's another guy who's probably going to get traded as well.
And then 17 assists, followed by Tomas Hertl with 12 and Barabanov with 9.
Yep.
His 28 points at first, obviously, and Timo and Thomas both are tied with 16 right after that. So, this value for EK isn't going to get any higher if he continues to play like this. Which, who knows?
It's as high as it's going to get.
Dude, he's really turned back the clock.
You're not a team that's going to be winning anytime soon. So, if I'm Greer, I'm enjoying this and I'm taking full advantage. The second I get an offer that works.
They're
going to get assets for him. It's not going to be a contract offer. They're going to get assets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to get fruitful assets with that. This is the most production we've seen from Erik Karlsson since 2017, probably.
Mm-hmm.
When he was Norris caliber carrying the Senators.
When he was
through
probably the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah. And right now he still kind of is.
He's playing like one, yeah.
He's definitely playing like in top 3.
Absolutely. You know what? It's funny is we all know what the Norris Trophy is for defense.
Yes. Yeah, which is surprising.
Out of the question for Erik Karlsson. No.
Well, it's funny though, because we have our friends on Discord and everywhere, and you know how our friend Jess is with John Carlson.
Yeah.
You know her stance on John.
Right.
Which is why we always tease her John for Norris. And she always gets pissy.
Why are you so pissy?
Why are you so pissy, Leon? God, that feels like forever ago.
Right. But it is. It's an award for the best offensive defenseman.
Yeah. Well, that's why. Well, because Cale won it last year, right?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Cale won it last year.
Cale last year, and the year before that, it was Adam Fox.
But the thing is, if we're going solely, because the voting was kind of weird last year too, because Yossi
got 3rd, but he got more first place votes than the guy.
Than Cale did, and he put up more. Didn't he put up more points? Because he had 96 points.
Yeah. So let's see.
Because Yossi had 96 points.
So
I thought we thought that was his year.
Let's go. Okay, so Kale won last year.
Yes.
Fox the year before that. Yossi the year before that.
Oh, so he's already got one. Never mind. Good for him.
Giordano the year before that, and that was the
year right, Gio.
17 goals and 74 points. Hedman the year before that.
Deserved.
16-17. Brent Burns.
Oh.
And then obviously you get other guys listed on here. You got Jowdy, you've got Carlson. He's on here. He's won it twice. Keith won in 13-14. Subban has won.
Just go back to 2010, I guess.
And then 2010 was Duncan Keith. So Duncan Keith's got 2. And then the best part is like looking at the rest of it, and it's just Lidstrom, Niedermeyer, Lidstrom.
Oh yeah,
Lidstrom.
Those guys just ran the league.
Lidstrom. Lidstrom's got so many he's got 7 Norrises.
I know, it's funny when they pull it up with like graphics of their faces.
Yeah.
And you just see one face throughout the majority of the blocks.
Oh my god, it's just insane. He is 7.
It's like Datsuk and Bergeron with Selkies, right?
Yes, literally. It's ridiculous. But so yeah, EK has already won it twice. Why not a third time?
Why not? Go for a triple crown, EK. Do it.
A third one, I mean, like
a third one at this point in his career.
What? Yeah,
a third one at this point in his career.
I already thought that he was probably a future Hall of Famer, but a third one would really cement that.
Oh yeah, especially like because we'll always default to the 2017 run with him, right?
Because it's the most
prolific
run from a defenseman I've seen in a long time.
Because he had a broken foot throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and he was like the main catalyst
for that whole run.
Team. You know, and that Sens team, you know, played some good hockey. They had some good players on it, but like, he was the engine. You know, and like Keith was unbelievable when the Hawks won in 2015, and he won the Conn Smythe. But
yeah,
you know, he wasn't like the engine. You know, it's Taves and Kane,
right?
Like Drew Doughty was awesome for the Kings in those 2 cup rounds, but like,
but Jonathan Quick stole them one.
Yeah, it's Quick. It's Kopitar. You know,
it's Dustin
Brown. Like, I've never seen a defenseman like take charge,
run the show like that,
run the show like Erik Karlsson did in 2017, and he's doing it again right now.
Didn't he have a hat trick in a recent game, like just a couple ago?
I didn't see anything about that.
I think he had a hat trick a couple of games ago.
I believe it. Totally. He is... Jake, he's tied with Leon for second in the league in scoring.
Oh my god.
You know who's 4th in the league in scoring right now?
Who?
Tied for 4th?
Who?
With Pasta? Jason Robertson.
Good for J-Rob.
Yeah.
Give him props to the kid. Like,
and
because after everything that he went through with the contract thing, right?
For 9th in the league in scoring.
There's
a lot of players. So Bratt, Hintz, Pedersen, Kachuk, Panarin, and Tage Thompson.
Good for Tage. Good for the, like, I know the Sabres are slipping right now, but like Tage is really
more points than Eichel. Better player.
Yeah, of course. Oh my god. So yeah, like I just wanted to shout out EK65 for that because like I know. Do you think he gets moved? Like where does he go?
November 2nd against Anaheim, he had 3 goals and an assist. There you go. If he gets moved, he'll get moved to the East.
Do you think he goes home to Ottawa? Because because he got a new house there, or he got his old house back there.
Florida,
huh?
They have a need for a right-hand shot defenseman.
You're right.
They have a contract that they can move in order to bring in Erik Karlsson.
A big contract for big contracts. You're right.
And they don't really have an abundance of draft picks because they traded them all, but they can trade
Right.
players.
Well, because Zito dumped all the draft picks in the Kachuk trade.
Yeah, because they have a lot of interest in making Spencer Knight the number 1 goaltender,
and he should, for his sake. you know what I mean?
If you can get Sergei Bobrovsky to waive that no move clause, I mean, that's it right there. Like, you can find other assets to make a deal. So I think Florida's a viable option in that regard.
Sure, realistically, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You being the realist, but me being the idealist, dude.
Him back in Ottawa would be
going home to Ottawa.
Pretty fun.
I just imagine like Shabbat, Zub, and then Sanderson, Carlson on your second pair.
Do you know what's another one that I find very interesting that I also could see happening?
Huh.
Detroit.
Ooh.
Detroit should be able to have the cap space to make something like that work.
Second pair Carlson on Detroit would be fun.
Yeah. He wouldn't have to be the guy.
No, because Sider's the guy.
Yeah. So I don't know. And Detroit's got like an abundance of assets. Like,
well, he wouldn't have to be the guy in Florida or Ottawa either, because you got Shabbat.
Yeah, but he's playing on the first pair.
You got Shabbat and you got Sandy, right?
Yeah, like my point is, like, he's not playing on the first pair in Detroit.
Well, he wouldn't in either of those places either.
He would play on the first pair with Shabbat.
I don't know, because him and Zub have a lot of chemistry together.
They would absolutely put
Carlson with Shabbat just to have fun.
You can't get that player and not put those two together.
I guess not.
And in Florida, you got Ekblad.
Yeah.
So, like, Florida would probably be ideal, like Detroit. Ottawa would be fun. It doesn't really make sense for them.
I don't know. I just want to see EK go home.
I know you do.
I just want to see EK go home.
It would be cool, especially in those new threads that they've got.
Oh.
So
I've already seen. Have you seen the Photoshop of him in that? Because it's like, oh, it's a chef's kiss. Oh, it's just. I love it.
It would be a lot of fun, but I don't know, man.
Oh man.
EK for Zaitsev.
EK for Zaitsev. Hey, Zaitsev fits like the Russian Sharks narrative.
Yeah.
And just fun names like Knizhov Zaitsev.
Give me Vlasic.
Vlasic Zaitsev. Hey, that's another bad contract that could move out.
Yeah, but it's only $4.5 million. That only covers. It's still like what, $7 million left that you got to cover at that point.
Retain.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna make a deal with Ottawa, Zaitsev certainly goes the other way as a part. Yeah. You still have to retain.
Yeah. So getting out of our into our last topic, there's this new rule that they're gonna put in. I want to say next year.
Yeah. And I think it's grandfathered in for certain players. Like
yeah, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Let me just explain this.
Yeah.
So it's for players that were drafted in 1920 or later, up through now, are required to wear their helmets in warmups.
Yes.
Anybody prior to 1920, you're grandfathered in and you don't have to. Which, it's smart. It's the first smart safety thing that they've decided on in a while.
We've seen players get nicked in warmups before with pucks and stuff like that. Like
Barzell took one to the temple pretty recently, over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I have no issue with the league saying wear your helmets and warmups, you idiots.
Well, especially for the kids now.
Yeah. Like, right? I understand, them being like, you know what, if you're Ovechkin, you can get away with it. If you're Crosby and you want to do it, you can get away with it. But
yeah,
it is a safety precaution for players coming into the league.
Yes.
Similar to the rule that they had with the visor thing, too.
Well, you know what's funny is like Jack Hughes doesn't need to do it. The first class that needs to do it is the first class that needs to do it is Lafreniere's class.
Jack Hughes should just do more for the rest of his career with no helmet, just to flex on everyone else.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! It's just Kako skating around while Lafreniere has to have his helmet on, and Laff is looking on, just like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Why is he looking up in the press box though?
But like, yeah, this is you got me for
that was a good one.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, but this is like an actual smart player safety thing that they've actually decided on. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
They did a good thing for a change?
It's weird. The NHL has been a little bit more productive than usual lately.
Right?
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I like being able to complain. I'm not used to them doing things.
Well, not like this is a thing that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, they're going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, our next best on best tournament isn't going to be until like 2028 instead of 2026."
I'm going to be like, you bastards. Thank God.
Because we never even talked about the World Cup of Hockey getting pushed back to 25.
Yeah, there's no sense in talking about something that's not going to fucking happen.
Right. And it's like, so then we don't get the Olympics until 26. And even then, it's like, are they going to go?
Well, yeah, let's see. Are they going to go? I don't know. It depends on where are the Olympics in 2026. Do we know?
I don't know. But it also depends on what the hell happens with Russia.
Yeah.
Right? That too, because we haven't talked about that in a while, which we don't really need to get into that much. But
oh, it's going to be in Italy.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Hockey in Italy sounds kind of fun.
That sounds really fun. Honestly, is it Rome?
It's Milan.
It's Milan. That's fun too.
So you know who you have to bring there.
Luch has got to go.
Yeah.
Luch's elite's got to go. Doesn't he?
Lucic's got to go
just to be the flag bearer.
Yeah. I don't even know if he's Italian, dude. He's got to be with Milan Lucic. That's got to be Italian, right?
He's Italian heritage, but you know where he's from?
He's from Vancouver.
He's from Connor Bedard. He's from Connor Bedard City, baby.
Yeah, you can get a nice Italian Jersey boy or Philadelphia kid and Tony D'Angelo.
Need a little couple of paisans in there.
Yeah.
Man. Oh my god. I'm still like I'm running on fumes, dude.
Same. I'm exhausted. I think this is a good episode though. We got everything done that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, just in time. And hey, come see me tomorrow. I'll be wearing
my favorite person.
I kind of prefer Justin Fields, but
I also very much prefer Justin Fields.
Come see me Sunday. I'll be wearing this hat. I'll be wearing my personalized home jersey. It's gonna have my name on the back with 9 on it. You'll find me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm excited to go to the game tomorrow. A little belated birthday present.
Yeah.
Chill out at our bar for a bit. Go to the game. Get to see Bob. Get to see Johnny.
Yep.
Hopefully
get to see Marcus Bjork.
Get to see Marcus Bjork. Oh yeah. And we will see y'all Tuesday.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.